It might be totaled. I think I hit hard. Visually, I don't see anywhere the frame's too trashed or messed up or bent out of shape. The back is really messed up though. The shock ripped apart, wheels are missing, blade bumper still attached to the car, window shattered out of the back. Half my wheel is sitting right here. My wood from my fire. Never made it to a fire. This sucks so much. The car is just done. Not the video I was intending to make today or kind of at all ever. I was planning on keeping this Jeep forever. I guess we're still keeping it. It's just in a little different condition than it was before. Things happen. This was out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm safe. Jeep hurt a little bit, but ultimately I'm good. So that's what matters, I guess. But let's go over what happened, and then I'll show you guys the damage to the Jeep. It did just get delivered. I was sitting waiting to make a left-hand turn on a road near here. The speed limit's about 55 on that road, so that's the speed the accident happened at. I was sitting, there was oncoming traffic. I had my brake lights on, obviously I was on my brakes. And then I also had my turn signal on, and this lady came flying up behind me in a Nissan Pathfinder. I unfortunately, I guess fortunate because I could kind of prepare for it. I saw it coming in my rearview mirror, and I was really hoping she hit her brakes. She didn't hit her brakes, swerve, nothing, just straight into the back of the Jeep at full speed. When she hit the Jeep, the back of the Jeep lifted up off the ground because she went underneath of it. She hit the passenger side tire, which spun it around, so kind of 180'd. It skidded on two tires across the road, across the next lane over. Fortunately, those cars that were coming had already passed, so I didn't hit any of those. It almost flipped, like it was up on the side. It was steeper than I've ever had it sideways, even off-roading. The passenger side freedom panel flew off. It was kind of crazy, but fortunately I had my harness on. I had everything good to go. The seats, the harnesses, everything kept me safe, so I'm good. The Jeep, a little bit damaged. Almost exactly 2 months later, and the Jeep is back at my house. I wanted to wait to get it back to make an update video, but we're gonna go ahead and tear into it, get a lot of these damaged parts like the wheel and tire off of it. There's obviously some things we're not gonna be able to get off of it, like the dents and dings. There's a couple paint chips here where the metal flared out. The doors dropped down just a little bit when you open them. We did put it on stock tires just so that way it'll roll around, at least in the back. That way we can get out of the way and out of the driveway. The bumper held up surprisingly well. We need a back window. Coming down below, we have the exhaust got bent up, but honestly not that bad. You could chop that back like 2 inches and be perfectly fine. The shock also broke the upper mount, that shock control arm. All the control arms are a little bit tweaked, but the body and everything else really isn't in terrible condition. Then moving around to the front's still in perfect condition because it didn't take any of the damage. We still got the perfect front axle. The winch is fine, the bumper's fine. Tons of good parts on the front. If we weren't to fix this and just part it out, everything's still good on the front of it. The back is where all the damage kind of stayed. So really, I feel like it's not as bad as what you would expect if you were to be rear-ended at 55 miles per hour while stopped. The damage wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting when I got out of the car. And once we got that wheel and tire popped off, it really doesn't look nearly as bad as what it did visually. The frame, obviously, we won't know until we get it torn apart more. The hard top, this is the freedom panel that flew off. As you can see, it hit the road and got a little bit messed up. That's real easy to fix. We can buy a kit to fix that, no problem. And as you can see, we definitely broke, I think, one of the pins maybe in the back that mounts it down. If you've ever put one of these in, there's these like guide pins. We probably broke one of those. Now, here's a part that I'm pretty excited about, actually, which probably seems a little bit weird in a video talking about an accident. However, since the front axle is still perfectly fine, we still have a flawless Curry Dana 44, RCVs, reed knuckles, all that kind of thing. So it'll fit in the Grand Cherokee. We'll take the Dana 30 out of the Grand Cherokee. We'll put it in the JKU since it's its original front axle anyway. And then we'll put the Curry axles underneath the WJ. We'll also get the 40s and beadlocks on there as well. The back axle, so far, so good there. We're going to have to cut the brackets off anyway to weld on the correct ones for the WJ. But if it's good, it's also going to go underneath of here, which would be really, really cool with the 40s. So we'll have 40-inch tires, lockers, real bead locks, which would be really, really nice. It'll be a whole different vehicle. The bead locks will fit perfectly. RCVs, like I said, reed knuckles, 513 gears, ARB air lockers, front and rear. I'm really hoping that back is good because I would love that to be underneath of the WJ. Here is where most of the damage took place. You can see where it kind of bent the wheel, sheared off in spots, tons of damage to the wheel. The tire messed up. The crazy part is if I flip this over for you, the tire ripped out. The beadlock didn't fail at all. The tire actually tore. Well, I guess the inside of the beadlock, like the wheel part, failed. The beadlock ring itself did not fail. Is kind of what I'm getting at here. But let's head back over to the Jeep and we'll go over a little bit more damage we get under the back here. I will say, for such a cheap back bumper, the thing held up decently. It did get jammed up into the body when the brackets failed, but to be expected. This shock bracket cracked, but it didn't. It's like a shock bracket that bolts onto the control arm bracket, so the thicker one is still fine. The shock bracket itself did break. Aside from that, most of the brackets still look perfectly fine on there. I'm kind of surprised at how little damage is on the axle itself. I'm really hoping that thing's still good, but we won't know until we get it pulled out from underneath the Jeep and kind of get some measurements and make sure it's still perfectly straight. Now, as for the inside honestly is perfectly fine. Aside from the window and water getting in, we have the air compressor still. That'll be going in the Grand Cherokee once the axles go over because they're air lockers, so we'll need that. We got our 2 springs. They just were like 30 yards down the road from where the Jeep crashed. I picked them up and put them back in the back. None of the airbags went off, so that's a plus. Nothing really to fix there. The windshield is cracked, unfortunately. But yeah, in the back, we're fine. You can actually see where the pin is. That's messed up on the hardtop. But no real damage in here. Like I said, the windshield's cracked, but that's it. That's not really the end of the world. Those things crack so easily. Anyway, no airbags is a huge plus. That makes it a lot easier to fix. If we do go that route, we'll head over here to the passenger side, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with these pins that mount the hardtop to the body. There's like these little holes and pins on the hardtop that slide down in it, and as you can see, it looks like it's just pushed out, to be honest. It doesn't even really look broken. I'm sure if we take that off and look at it, we'll figure it out, but that's really it. There's not a ton of damage on the hardtop. Not a ton of damage on the body. Now, a massive plus is if you take a look here, I still have my TerraFlex lift in the back. And if you paid any attention in the past, I have a long arm lift kit in the front from Iron Rock Off-Road. And I still have the back of that lift kit sitting in the garage in a box. So we'll put that on and we'll have the back suspension put back together perfectly fine. And it'll be upgraded because we'll be on long arms. I will pull this Curry axle out while we do that, and we'll put in the stock Dana 44, which I do still have in the backyard, and we'll get that tossed under here. So it'll be on stock axles, but it'll be on long arms, so it's not really the end of the world. This is the Dana 30 out of the JKU, as you guys saw me build. We'll go ahead and put that back into it, and we'll take out that Curry 44. That way we can put it in the Grand Cherokee. I think that's just the best route here. But all in all, the damage isn't terrible. As you can see from this angle, my exhaust did get a little messed up. Not the end of the world. That's definitely fixable. I guess it's all going to come down to how the frame is. I don't see anywhere that there's like visual damage. I do have to obviously take some measurements and make sure it's not bent in a way I can't tell. But it kind of looks all right. I think with the way the lady hit it, most of the force went into the axle and then kind of into the control arm, but they bent. So I don't know how much damage is. If you guys have any idea about like the rebuilt title thing, especially in Maryland, DM me on Instagram, message me something, because I have a ton of questions for you guys. But ultimately, that tire and wheel, I think, saved a ton of damage from going into the car itself and kind of protected it. Their SUV went sort of underneath of the Jeep and hit that first. So I think we got a little bit lucky damage-wise there. So obviously this sucks, but I like to look at the positive of things, and I think this will give us a really good opportunity to focus more on the Grand Cherokee, build that, grow some content. I picked up the Cherokee. There's just a lot of new projects we can do. We might be able to rebuild this. Like I said, if you have any idea on the rebuild title process, let me know. I'd love to ask you guys a couple questions. As always, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. It helps a ton, and I didn't really want to make this video, but I felt like you guys kind of needed some kind of update on where the Wrangler was, why I don't have it. I wanted to wait till it was back so I could show you all the damages, and I never really got a chance to look it over too well. But like I said, as always, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. Expect a bunch of Grand Cherokee videos, Wrangler videos, XJ videos, tons of stuff coming up. I was kind of stuck waiting for this thing to come back because I just bought the XJ Sunday. I was waiting for the Wrangler to come back so I could put the axles in the blue one, then I could install the suspension on the red one. It was just, I was waiting for so many things to fall into place. But the important thing is tons of content coming up. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in one of those videos.